Hello and welcome to my report, EastMojo's daily evening news bulletin update. We bring you the latest and biggest happenings from east and northeast of India. I'm Simran Vijaj. I'll be your host for today and also giving you updates from Assam as well as Mizoram. For other states, we are being joined by our correspondents. We have Chandan Pandey from Tripura, Medulino Ambrosia from Nagaland, Irani Sonowal Lepcha from Arunachal Pradesh, and Princess Giri Rashid from Meghalaya. So let's start today's show. First of all, let's head to Chandan Pandey from Tripura. Chandan, can you please start off with the COVID-19 updates from the state?
Yes, Simran. Thank you so much. To start with the COVID-19 updates, let me tell you, in Tripura has registered its highest single day COVID-19 related deaths, and that is 10 people has succumbed to this virus yesterday, as per the media bulletin provided to us. So this is for the first time in Tripura. A total of 10 persons has succumbed in a single day. Also to tell you that Tripura has so far reported a total of 113 COVID-19 related deaths, while the total number of confirmed cases in Tripura now stands at 12,153, while the active case in Tripura now stands at 4,366. The number of recovered cases in Tripura now stands at 7,654, while the number of migrated patients now stands at 20, with one more person being transferred to other state. His sample was collected here in Agartala, but later on he left Agartala and his sample tested positive. So he was informed that he has been tested positive and now he's undergoing treatment in the other state. Also to tell you that in last 1 week, Tripura has reported a number of cases which is over 2,000. I mentioned it last day in our live as well. And Tripura is reporting the numbers in what do I say, in the Western District, the West District of Tripura, out of the 8 districts that we have in Tripura. West District has reported a total of 20% cases. And also to tell you, of the total positive case that Tripura is reporting, 80% people are asymptomatic. Also to inform our viewers that in Tripura, the government has ordered a fresh night curfew order for the West District, to be very specific, because the West District has reported more than 20% of the total COVID-19 positive case. And of the total COVID-related death, more than 60% have succumbed to this virus who belong from West District of Tripura. That is something alarming. Also to tell you, West District being the capital, Agartala city comes under West District. So people from across the state do visit Agartala amid this COVID-19 pandemic. And we know that the session for Durga Puja and other festivals is approaching. There are also marriage ceremonies and other things are going on. So people from across the state, they visit Agartala. In the markets, if we go especially, we hardly see people wearing masks or maintaining social distancing. The Tripura government had, in the month of March, decided that all the markets would be shifted to open field. This is very specific for the vegetable markets and meat shops. But later on, with the relaxation being coming from the center, the Tripura government allowed the market association to shift back their shop to their permanent shade, following which we have seen there had been a sudden spike in the number of cases. And also to inform that school and education institutes are closed since March 16, but in a number of places we have seen Tripura government earlier, they had announced that neighborhood classes will take place, and it was done for a week. But later on, what we saw was with more than 500% testing positive for a single day, which also included one of the teacher who succumbed to this virus. He had attended class for in the neighborhood classes which the government had decided to take across the state, where more than 1,70,000 students had participated, while teachers on about 21,000 teachers had imparted education among those students. So by all the decisions so far the government has taken, also to inform that the Tripura government is the probably the only state where they have decided that a compensation amount of rupees 10 lakh would be paid to the kin of the COVID-19 victim. So out of the total 10 lakh rupees, the Tripura government has decided that the amount will be paid in three phases. The first phase will be of rupees 3 lakh, which the chief minister had announced 3 days back. In a video where he said that the government will provide 3 lakh rupees as immediate relief to the family members. That will be followed by two more phases, which is rupees 3 lakh, and the last one will be rupees 4 lakh. Earlier, we have seen the center had announced that 4 lakh rupees would be paid to the kin of all the COVID-19 victims. But later on, as the number of COVID-related death started increasing, the center had taken back its decision. But in case of Tripura, the Tripura government has said that as we have already announced, we will pay the amount from our bucket. Even though the center doesn't pay us from the SDRF, we will pay the money to the family members. But a question remains here that it's been more than 6 months, and the number of COVID-related deaths has now increased to 113. And the way it has increased for the past few weeks, the number is certainly going to cross a good number, which I don't want to name here. But with this view, if we go across, the opposition leaders and a number of people have now started asking when the government will start paying compensation. Because of the total COVID-related death, there around 40% people who have succumbed to this virus, they belong to the age group below 50 age. So most of the people were the only bread earner. This also includes a few BSF personnel. As per the last data that we have with us, 3 BSF personnel had succumbed to this virus. So this is something in Tripura. After Assam, if we say Tripura is now one of the worst affected state by this virus. And to tell, the mortality rate in Tripura now stands at 0.96%, while the test per million in Tripura now stands at 68,010 samples per million, while the positivity rate in Tripura has further increased and now it stands at 4.28%, while the recovery rate has fall down from 72% and now it stands at 65.83%. Also, to give a update on the number of people who are in facility quarantine, the total number of people who are in facility quarantine now stands at 408, which was just 200 3 days back. And now in home surveillance, there are about 3,514 people undergoing treatment. Also, to add that recently the government had decided that the people who will decide to remain in home isolation, they will be provided by pulse oximeter so that they can keep account on their pulse rate, and whenever they feel that they are facing any sort of problem related to COVID-19, since they are COVID positive, they will be rushed to the nearest COVID-19 hospital or the CCC, which is COVID care center, where the government has made arrangement for oxygen, and also ventilators are being installed in some of the COVID care centers. So this decision was taken by the government in a move that we have seen the number of cases has increased in the state, and Tripura having only one COVID ward, dedicated ward in Agartala Government Medical College, which has only 110 seats, but it was providing service to more than 200 people. And the core committee members, they had expressed their concern over the rise in cases and the mismanagement which was going on in the state health department. They had clearly said that the doctors or the health workers who were deployed in the rural areas or PHC level, they used to refer the patient to Agartala Government Medical College. Although the person who tests positive, sometimes they are asymptomatic or they had very mild symptoms. So they could be placed in home quarantine or to the nearest COVID care center in their respective district. And that will make it easier for the administration from the health department to provide them health services. Simran.
Thank you so much for that COVID-19 update, Chandan. And in another news, the State Assembly session in Tripura is to be held before September 23. So, what are the developments related to that?
Yes, Simran. So we had done a copy
And
earlier where the yes. So the Law and Parliamentary Affairs Minister, Mr. Ratan Lal Nath, he had visited Agartala Heritage Park, which is just 2 kilometers distance from the state legislative assembly. During his visit, he said that the Tripura government is planning to hold its monsoon session in an open space that is in Heritage Park, which also has a gallery where people visit just to spend some time. So the government was planning to hold the assembly session in open sky. He said that the government is planning this because we have seen in most of the state a number of MLA legislature had tested positive. Just giving an example of Assam state where 50% MLAs had participated in the assembly session. So the government of Tripura had decided that they will hold an open space assembly session like Pondicherry, where we have seen after MLA tested positive, the assembly session had taken place under a neem tree. This is what he had said. So the government had then decided that the assembly session will take place in open space. However, today the Speaker of Tripura Legislative Assembly, Mr. Rebati Mohan Das, he said that the government had decided to hold the. They were planning that the assembly session could be held in open space or not, but now they have visited the present assembly where they have inspected the entire infrastructure, and it's they got to know that the entire infrastructure is having a space for giving for putting more than 100 legislature, whereas Tripura has a total of 60 legislature. So they can easily maintain social distancing within the present assembly building. So the decision which was earlier being taken or being considered by the government is likely to be cancelled, and the assembly session will take place in its permanent place, that is the Tripura Legislative Assembly. Also to tell you that Mr. Speaker, he also said that the assembly session has to take place before September 23 as per protocol. So keeping that in mind, the BAC, that is the Business Advisory Committee, will hold its meeting shortly to decide the days of business days, how many days the business will continue, 2 days or 3 days. The government, the ruling government and the BJP legislature are on the favor for a single day business, but opposition party, who are also the member of BAC, they will take part in the meeting, and the meeting will decide how many days this assembly session will take place. So we have to wait for the final dates coming in, but the day has to be certainly before September 23 as per protocol. Simran.
Thank you so much for that update, Chandan. And now I would like to give our viewers the updates from Assam. So let's start with the COVID-19 updates. This is as per the latest information given out by the State Health Minister of Hemanta Biswa Sharma last night. So Assam recorded 3,266 new cases of COVID-19 infection on Monday. And now the state's total is at 1,09,040 new reported 40 total reported cases of COVID-19. Assam has the highest number of COVID-19 cases among all the 8 northeastern states. And yesterday, the 3,266 cases were detected out of 44,948 tests conducted, and with that, the positivity rate in the state has spiked. It's gone above 7%, reaching 7.26%, which is not a very favorable rate. I've always mentioned that the positivity rate in the state should remain below 5%, which looks like a favorable outcome and gives scope that the COVID-19 impact in the state might be reduced. But the numbers seem to be climbing in Assam, and now the positivity rate is at 7.26%. This figure is not very much likable. And when we talk about district-wise breakup, so yesterday Kamrup Metro saw the highest number of cases again, which is 700 new cases, followed by Golaghat, which saw 233 cases, and Kachar and Jorhat district both saw 189 cases each. And when we talk about the total number of deaths that Assam has recorded, yesterday 10 people succumbed to COVID-19 infections, and with that, the total number of COVID-19 related death in Assam is at 306, and yesterday 1,531 people were cured and discharged. COVID-19 patients were discharged, and the total number of discharged patients in the state now stands at 85,458. So currently, to give you an overall status, Assam has total 1,09,040 reported cases of COVID-19 infection, of which 23,273 are active cases, 85,458 have been discharged, 306 have succumbed to COVID-19 related issues, and 3 have migrated to other states. And when we look at Assam's recovery rate, it stands at 78.37%, and the mortality rate in Assam in terms of COVID-19 deaths stands at 0.28%. Also, the tests conducted per million in the state now stands at 65,985. So that's the overall view of COVID-19 infections. And in another news, so we know the assembly session is going on in Assam, and so this is as per the update of COVID-19 impact in jails in Assam. So Assam Minister Chandramohan Patwari, he informed that among the jails in Assam, Guwahati Central Jail is one of the worst hit jails in the state due to COVID-19. Altogether, 2,496 jail inmates across the state have tested positive for COVID-19. However, the maximum number of cases are from Guwahati Central Jail, which is at 558, followed by Difu District Jail, which has 339 corona positive inmates. So that's the update that we have from Assam. And also, this is another update that ex-chief minister Mr. Tarun Gogoi, who tested positive for COVID-19 earlier last month, and his oxygen saturation level dipped at around 11:30 p.m. last night, following which he was given 1 unit of plasma and oxygen, and now the oxygen levels are high again, better again, and he's in a stable condition at the moment. And that's the update that we have from Assam. Now let's head to our correspondent, Medolino Ambrosio from Nagaland. And Meadow, can you please give us the COVID-19 updates?
Yes, thank you, Simran. So I'm first of all going to start with the new cases that have been detected here today. So a total of 53 new cases were reported. Now, these new cases were tested and declared as positive out of 674 samples that were tested. And among them, 31 are from Kohima, 13 are from Mon, and 9 are from Dimapur. We've also received the sector-wise segregation of the new cases, and among the total 29 persons who tested positive today are true trace contacts. Now, more than majority of the cases today, and among them 16 trace contacts are from Kohima and 13 trace contacts are from Mon. Now, besides that, a total of 11 armed force personnel also tested positive for COVID-19. And out of that, 9 of them are from Dimapur and 2 are from Kohima. Also, the remaining others, 8 are all returnees from Kohima, and 5 are frontline workers, all from Kohima again. So overall, we've seen that the cases, with the addition of these new cases, the state's tally has gone up to 4,003. And out of this, the armed forces comprises of 1,703. The returnees are about 1,268. Among the total cases, 744 are true trace contacts and 288 are frontline workers. The state also reported new recovered cases here in the state, a total of 133 of them, which is more than the number of new cases that have been detected. Now, in the past week, we've seen that the number of recovered cases on a daily basis also has been surpassing the number of recovered cases. So among the new 133 recovered cases that have been detected today, a total of 77 alone are from Dimapur, and 51 are from Kohima, 3 is from Mon, and 2 are from Tuensang. Simon, I'd also like to make a mention that today is the 100th day since the first cases of COVID-19 were reported and detected here in the state of Nagaland. So we've seen that in just 100 days, Nagaland have detected over 4,000 COVID-19 positive cases. However, the good news is that the number of recovered cases has surpassed the number of active cases. So out of the total of 4,003 confirmed cases that have been detected here, recovered cases are now at 3,191, and the active cases is at 794. Now, besides these cases, a total of 9 persons have also migrated from the state, and the state has reported 8 confirmed deaths of COVID-19. However, besides these 8 confirmed deaths, which are due to COVID-19, besides this, one is tested positive for COVID-19, but it's not a COVID-19 related death. And also another 3 deaths are still under investigation. So 3 deaths under investigation, and inclusive of this, all deaths that have been reported here in the state of Nagaland are all from Dimapur. Uh, and I'd also like to make a mention of the weekly bulletins updates that we've received from the Health and Family Welfare. So as per the findings of the state's medical department, most of the cases, COVID-19 cases, are being detected at workplaces or at office. This is about 52% of the total cases where COVID-19 cases infections are happening, and besides that, 40% are happening at the households Also, 4% are from people belonging to the same locality or through the same social gatherings, and a total of 3% also are being infected from the hospitals, and 1% is through transport. So we see that now there's a new trend among the trace contacts, the increase of COVID-19 cases among trace contacts, and this could be one reason why the most of the infections are happening at workplaces. So that is in regard to the COVID-19 updates, and the positivity rate in the state currently is 6.5%. So in comparison to the week before, we've seen that the positivity rate has improved, which was at 6.7%, but now at 6.2%. Also, the state's the mortality rate in the death is 0.21%. So that's for the COVID-19 updates from Nagaland. Simran.
Thank you so much for that update, Meadow. And now I would like to give our viewers the updates from Mizoram. So the state recorded in the past 24 hours, the state has recorded one new case of COVID-19 infection and discharged 21 COVID-19 patients. And with that, the cumulative figure in the state of Mizoram is 1,012 total reported cases of COVID-19 infection. 610 people have been cured and discharged. 402 remain as active COVID-19 cases, and 2 people have migrated to other states. Fortunately, Mizoram has not yet reported a single COVID-19 related death, and I think it's the only state in uh, the entire of Northeast which has not reported a single COVID-19 related death. So that's the update that we have from Mizoram. Moving on, let's head to our correspondent, Princess Giri Rashir from Meghalaya. So, Princess, as you had informed us through this live earlier last month, that the state is planning to close entry points to the state for 1 week each month. So, it's starting from today. Can you tell our viewers more about that?
Good evening, Simran. Yes, it's the closing of entry points here in Meghalaya will start from today. It had already started last night at midnight, and it will continue till the 7th of September, and then following for next month, October, and also for November. Now, remember that the Ministry of Home Affairs has already stated that local restrictions of interstate or closing of interstate and entry points is restricted. So when asked if the government is violating the MHA guidelines, but the Deputy Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Preston Tinsong, has informed that this is not a violation and it's just for the safety of the state, because due to the lack of health workers, there's a lot of stress concerning the health workers not getting rest. So also the state government feels that these entry points needs to be disinfected, hence the requirement to close the entry points, and also giving a relaxation to the health workers at the front line. Simran.
Thank you so much for that clarification. And Meghalaya has seen 2 more COVID-19 related deaths. Can you tell us more about that?
Surely, we have, in fact, last night we had recorded 2 more deaths in the state of Meghalaya, and the 2 more deaths has now increased the fatality rate here in Meghalaya. Now, deaths in the state stands at 12. Altogether, the death in the state now stands at 12. Now, I'll just give you the figures for the COVID-19 update in the state of Meghalaya. The total cases that we have so far is a total of 1,000. The total cases stands at 1,235. I'm so sorry, that is the recovered cases. And the active cases is 1,193, and recovered is 1,235, and the deaths, like I mentioned, is 12. And also, we have like the samples that the number of samples that have been sent for testing is a total of 90,477. So we have seen an increase in the number of samples that have been sent for testing. And also, there's another concern that we're looking here. The earlier that when the death was at 9, There was one more case that was added, which was earlier not counted. So recently, the government had decided, after discussions with the doctors, with the health department, another death was added, and like I mentioned, two more fresh cases of death was added last night itself. Simran.
Thank you for that COVID-19 update, Princess. And in another news, so the foundation stone has been laid for a new NPP office. Can you tell us more about that?
Um, Definitely, there was a foundation stone laid today, and remember that today is also the 73rd birth anniversary of late P.A. Sangma, and the foundation stone, the laying of the foundation stone ceremony, it was attended by several of the NPP members. Also, you had the Meghalaya Chief Minister, who is also part of this, and during this, ceremony that they had today. There was also they had paid their tributes apart from late P.A. Sangma. Also, they had paid their tributes to Pranab Mukherjee, who passed away yesterday. So there was a moment of silence. A 2-minute silence was observed, and in this foundation stone laying ceremony, we had seen the Rajya Sabha MP, Dr. W.R. Karluki, was also present, and Didi Lapang, who also was present, and other office bearers of the National Committee of the party. Now, uh, what was discussed during the ceremony? The chief minister spoke about the National People's Party. How he was very fortunate to gain the land for the construction of the new office, and also that they informed that the construction is estimated to be completed within 12 to 14 months. Simran.
And in the last news from Meghalaya, Princess, African swine fever has been controlled in the state. Can you tell our viewers more about that?
You
Princess?
know, yes,
Princess,
Simran.
you're not audible.
We've
Hello?
spoken. Hello, Simran.
Yes.
Yes, we have spoken to the Deputy Chief Minister, and he's informed, because we are looking at just recently on 27th of August, there was a list of villages that were declared as epicenters of African swine fever here in the state, and immediately this was a confirmation after they had sent the samples of pigs. If it's confirmed cases of African swine fever or not. So there was a confirmation that yes, these are cases of African swine fever. So that was on the 27th, where they had declared a list of 19 villages as containment zones, and that they're epicenters of this African swine fever. And asked today if there was any increase of these places, villages, any other villages that had been declared as containment zones or epicenters of this fever. So the government has informed that thankfully the state did not record any new cases, or new places have been declared as containment zones. There was no increase. It's just the same, that was 19 villages. So thankfully we're seeing that there has been no increase of this African swine fever, and the government feels that they have been able to curtail the spread of this African swine fever. Now, including with that, what we've seen is that this a lump skin disease, or that's happening with our neighboring state Assam itself. So we've asked, if the government of Meghalaya is also trying to, if they've detected any cases of this lumpy skins seen on cattle. So the government informed that as of now they haven't seen any cases of these cases happening on the cattle here in Meghalaya. But then, the government is not complacent about this. They're ensuring that actions are being taken. They've asked the director of veterinary to go to the field and find out, and also give awareness programs to the farmers, and to people who rear cattle. Simran.
Thank you so much for that update, Princess. And now let's head on to a correspondent from Arunachal Pradesh. So, Irani, can you please give us the latest updates from the state?
Yeah, hi Simran. I would like to first give you the update of COVID-19 from the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So, Capital Complex now leads the race in COVID-19 active cases. So Capital Complex has 191 active cases. If you look into the data provided by the Health Department yesterday, and 1,019 people have already recovered from COVID-19. Capital Complex is followed by West Kameng district of Arunachal Pradesh with 184 COVID-19 active cases, and 181 people from West Kameng have already recovered. And if we look into the overall data from the state, the active number of cases are 1,220. 2,885 people have already recovered from COVID-19. With 7 that, the tally stands at 4,112. And Simran, I would also like to tell our viewers that today the Solung festival, which is the main social-religious festival of Adi community of Arunachal Pradesh, has started. It's a harvest festival performed after seed transplantation to seek for future bumper crops. And during Solung, every evening, the priest sings Solung Abung, and through the song, he relates the stories about origin of man, animals, and plants, the ancestors of the Adi lives and deaths. And Solung is celebrated in the month of September. That is especially in the first week, as there is no fixed date. But women dances in the traditional folk songs, which is known as Ponung, and they share delicacies and tribal food with each other during these 5 days. Simran.
Thank you so much for that update, Irani. And with that, we come to an end for today's show. All the stories that we've discussed are already live on our website. You can log on to www.eastmojo.com and read all the stories. And if you have any ideas, suggestions, or opinion for us, please write to us at editor@eastmojo.com. We also have a very active fact checking team. So if you come across any piece of information, any photo, or any video, then if you can, then please send it to us at editor@eastmojo.com, or you can even send it to us through our Facebook page. And please stay connected with us through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. This is Simran Bajaj signing off for today.